a stoic, second-person narrative following a SWAT officer from academy to retirement, detailing the quiet accumulation of experience, the weight of responsibility, and the true meaning of going home safe across 10 levels of a high-stakes career. Level 1. The Recruit. You're 19. You didn't stumble into this. You applied 3 times. The first 2, you failed the fitness test, missing the run by 17 seconds, then 9. This time, you pass. Your lungs burn, your legs ache, but you pass. Somewhere, 25 years from now, you will sit in a quiet room, the chief of operations, arguing over budget lines with a man who avoids your gaze. But that's later. Right now, you're standing on a painted line. 40 recruits start the academy. Instructor Hayes, a lean former Marine, watches you all. He stands perfectly still, a permanent frown line between his brows. He never raises his voice above a measured cadence. He doesn't have to. You learn to make your bed with hospital corners. You learn to march in cadence. You learn to disassemble and reassemble your service pistol blindfolded in under 45 seconds. Recruit Miller, a stocky man from Fresno, always ties his boots too tight. He struggles with the timed runs, always just behind the cutoff. You see him in the chow hall, pushing food around his plate, staring at the wall. 3 weeks in, he's gone. No ceremony, just an empty bunk. By graduation, 23 remain. You are one of them. The silence after a long day of drills is a welcome comfort. You sit alone in the barracks, cleaning your weapon. The only sound, the click of metal. Level 2, the patrol officer. You're 21. Your first posting is District 7, a sprawling sector covering 18 square miles of residential blocks and light industrial parks. The call volume is high. Domestic disputes, petty theft, noise complaints. You learn the rhythm of the street, the ebb and flow of shift change. Your field training officer is Sergeant Vargas. He has 18 years on the job, a calm demeanor, and a habit of polishing his duty belt buckle before every shift. You ride shotgun in his patrol cruiser for 3 months. He teaches you to read situations, not just the words spoken, but the tension in a stance, the flicker in someone's eyes. You learn to de-escalate, to talk people down from the ledge of their own anger. You write incident reports, filing out the same forms, detailing the same human frailties. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast, Sergeant Vargas tells you one night, watching you fill out a report after a particularly tense call. Rushing gets people killed. You understand what he means. You see officers who rush, who escalate, who create their own chaos. You learn to wait. You learn to observe. You learn the value of quiet, measured responses. You drive home after your shift, the city lights blurring. The silence of your apartment is a familiar weight. Level 3, the candidate. You're 24. 3 years on patrol have hardened the edges, sharpened your senses. You apply for SWAT selection. 62 candidates show up for the first day. The week-long assessment is relentless. It starts with a comprehensive physical fitness test, 1.5-mile run in under 9 minutes, 35 push-ups, 40 sit-ups, 6 pull-ups, all within specific time limits. Then the obstacle course. You push through the tire walls, over the 8-foot fences, under the barbed wire. Your lungs burn, your muscles scream. Officer Chen, a meticulous patrolman from the next district, is 2 lanes over. He pushes himself. His movements precise, almost clinical. He always rechecks his gear 3 times before a drill. You endure the stress drills, the sleep deprivation, the tactical problem-solving scenarios. You navigate simulated hostage situations, make split-second decisions with non-lethal training rounds. You learn that competence under duress is not a choice but a requirement. Your mind is a fog of exhaustion. You sleep for 3 hours one night on a cot, waking disoriented, the sound of a simulated breach still echoing. The instructors watch everything. Every flinch, every hesitation, every moment of quiet determination. 11 candidates are selected. You are one of them. You shake Chen's hand. His grip is firm. You drive home in silence, too tired to even turn on the radio. Level 4, The probationary operator. You're 26. Your first year in SWAT is a probationary period. You shadow veteran operators on every call-out, every training exercise. You learn the precise steps for stack formations, how to move as one unit through tight spaces. You practice mechanical breaching, hitting a door with a ram, then a pry bar. The motions ingrained through repetition. Your close quarters battle drills are scrutinized. Every movement, every decision. A veteran operator named Officer Hayes, a stoic man, who never raises his voice, watches your every action during a live-fire scenario. Your adrenaline surges. You marry Sarah on a Saturday, a quiet ceremony at the courthouse. She's an ER nurse, already accustomed to the unpredictable shifts, the sudden calls. You both understand schedules that shift, sometimes without warning, leaving cold dinners and silent mornings. You learn that the best operations are often the quietest ones. The problems resolved before a single shot is fired, before a door is ever breached. The silence in the squad bay after a successful perimeter hold, before an entry, feels like a fragile piece. Level 5. The operator. You're 29. You are a full operator now. Your probationary year is over. The calls come in. High-risk warrants, barricaded subjects. The weight of your role is constant, a low hum beneath the surface. The call comes in for a barricaded subject with hostages. At a commercial warehouse off 8th Street. 2 employees, 1 armed man. Your team sets up a perimeter, establishing an inner and outer cordon. Negotiators work the phone for hours, their voices calm, persistent. You are part of the entry team, a 4-man stack. You move through a side entrance, a silent, coordinated advance in under 90 seconds. The warehouse is dim, filled with the scent of dust and fear. The subject resists. A brief, violent exchange in the storage area. During the exchange, a civilian, a male employee, is injured by fragmentation from a ricochet. You secure the scene. You clear the building. You ensure medical aid is rendered. The incident report is filed. The review board clears your team, clears your actions. You sit in your patrol vehicle for a few minutes before driving back to the station. Quiet was always the goal, but sometimes the world refused. Level 6. The specialist. You're 34. You specialize as a precision marksman. Weeks of advanced training follow. Held at a remote range in the desert. You learn to make cold-bore shots at 300 meters, then 400. You learn target identification, how to distinguish a threat from a non-combatant in a fraction of a second, how to calculate windage and elevation in driving rain. Your role shifts from dynamic entry to overwatch. You spend hours in a hide, sometimes 12 or 14 hours observing. You are the eyes of the team, the distant witness, reporting real-time intelligence. A new operator, Officer Rodriguez, a young man who always volunteers for the point position, shadows you on a training exercise. He asks about the waiting, the endless stillness. Speed is useful, you tell him, your voice low, not breaking your observation. Accuracy is better. The two aren't the same thing. You watch him nod, absorbing the lesson. The desert wind whispers past your blind. You learn the patience of the predator, the value of the long, silent vigil. Your report after a 16-hour surveillance operation contains 23 specific observations that lead to a peaceful resolution. You eat a cold meal alone in the station's break room. The silence is absolute. Level 7. The team leader. You're 39. You are promoted to team leader, now responsible for a 5-man element. The responsibility settles heavy, a constant pressure beneath your uniform. You plan entries, manage tactical decisions, brief your team before every operation. A high-risk barricaded subject is holed up in a residential home, threatening self-harm. You arrive on scene. You assess the intelligence, the layout of the house, the options. You make the final call to use gas, not dynamic entry, despite the clock ticking towards a hard deadline. Your team deploys the chemical agents. The subject, disoriented, surrenders without violence. No shots fired, no injuries. Another quiet resolution. You review the after-action report, ensuring every detail is accurate. Every procedure followed. Sarah stops asking when you'll be home. You stop offering. Her shifts are as unpredictable as yours. Your son asks what you did for a living. You say something vague about keeping people safe. He says, "Was it important?" You say yes. He says, "Then why don't you ever talk about it?" The question hangs in the air. The house is often dark when you arrive, the quiet deeper than before. Level 8, the tactical commander. You're 45. You are no longer on the stack. Your battles are fought from a command post, overseeing multiple teams, their training schedules, their complex budgets. You manage equipment procurement, ensuring your operators have the tools they need. Interagency liaison consumes your calendar. You sit across from Lieutenant Davies in his office, advocating for a new thermal optic system. He is pragmatic, his neatly trimmed beard framing a face that sees only numbers. He taps his pen against his legal pad. $300,000 for enhanced night vision, he says, not a question. Prove the immediate return. You present the data, the decreased risk, the faster resolution times. The political fallout from a joint operation with the county sheriff's department still lingers. Their intelligence was flawed. Your team pulled back. You absorbed the blame, the quiet censure. The news reaches you on a Tuesday morning. Officer Chen, during a rappelling exercise. At the county training facility, a gear failure. He died on impact. You drive to the range that weekend, the .45 heavy in your hand. You shoot a clean group, a tight cluster of holes in the paper target. You think about Chen rechecking his gear 3 times, his meticulous habit. You wonder if the third check was the one that mattered. Level 9, the Chief of Special Operations. You're 52. Your office is on the top floor with a window overlooking the city. But you rarely look out. Policy battles are your new battlefield. The stakes just as high, the outcomes often more ambiguous. You fight Chief Stone, the department chief, for increased training hours, for a dedicated mental health program for your operators. He is a career politician. He quotes budget spreadsheets, his eyes never quite meeting yours. He speaks of optics, of public perception, of fiscal responsibility. You speak of lives. You walk the halls of headquarters, past the plaques commemorating past operations, past the faces of men and women you knew. Sometimes, on your drive home, you take the long way. You pass the intersection off 8th Street, where the old commercial warehouse once stood, before it was redeveloped into condos. The memory still pulls at you, a phantom ache. 11 years as commander, 43 high-risk warrants, 0 operator fatalities, 1 civilian injured by fragmentation, 1996, warehouse off 8th Street. You learn that the quietest battles are often fought with paperwork, not firearms. And the scars are just as deep. Level 10, the veteran. You're 58. The small ceremony is held in the department's conference room. The air is thick with polite applause. Chief Stone, his smile practiced, reads from a commendation. A list of years, of deployments, of awards. Your total critical incidents resolved, 187. It feels inadequate. You shake hands, offer brief nods. You carry a small box containing your badge and service weapon. You think about Sergeant Vargas, polishing his duty belt buckle before every shift, teaching you to be slow and smooth. You think about Officer Chen, meticulous, rechecking his gear 3 times, every single time. You remember Officer Rodriguez, young and eager, always volunteering for the point position years ago. You think about Sarah, who still leaves a cold dinner, sometimes, a silent offering after your late shifts, even now. You think about the civilian injured by fragmentation in the warehouse off 8th Street. You wonder if she ever found out what truly happened that night, if her life ever fully returned to quiet. You drive home alone, the box on the passenger seat. The house is dark when you arrive. You stand in the driveway for a few minutes. Quiet was always the goal. That was always the point. The institution will not remember the civilian injured in the warehouse off 8th Street, or the meticulous triple check of Officer Chen, or the watch that Sergeant Vargas checked every 5 minutes for 30 years. Only you will. That's enough.